Okay, just today's session we will discuss about Java methods and Java constructors. First is that in previous session we already know and we already discussed about the Java class. So what is a class? It is a blueprint and a template. It contains data members and data functions. What's a data functions, right? Functions that how our class is going to behave that. So those called as a data functions, right? Member variables are thus variables like that we declared in the class like integer, string, double, or so on. All these are called as a data members or variables. Now let's talk about only this method. In Java, we have methods are two types. First, there's the category, right? In Java, we have two types of methods are there. First, what is that? The standard library methods and user-defined methods. Standard library methods means what? Java provides some libraries for us to develop our applications, to implement our applications, right? So it provides some standard libraries. In that, standard libraries also have interfaces and classes as we seen in the previous session. So it contains the list map or set all these things are interfaces and that implements those classes or hash set, hash map or a list or in that class we have methods. Those methods are called as standard library methods that we have to import those libraries and use those standard methods that we cannot change and we cannot any change the implementation. We cannot customize that. Let's see that what those standard methods are there. Now look at this Java's library. This is one of the Java library. Let's take this. We have the list of Java library methods, right? If we take a string, right? String is a class again. It contains the method split, length, replace, equals, right? To get the substring equals, right? As we seen that string is not only data type, it is a non-primitive data type. It is a data type of type non-primitive, and that's why all these non-primitive classes are nothing but the classes and interfaces. That is the reason we say that non-primitive data types are classes and interfaces. Let's see this one. As we are saying string is a class. How come string is a class? Just go back to Eclipse and see now. Okay, create one class. Now here we just declare the data type as string. String str equals to and initialize the value also hello. So if you see that it looks like same as our again primitive data type, but these are all non-primitive data types and these are all classes. So look at this, see if we click this one, right? So it will navigate you to the library packages. If you see this one, said java.lang package. It is a package java.lang. If you try to type here, see, it will not allow to change. These are dot class files. It comes from the Java package. If you look at this right side, right, say JARI system library. That Java provide this library for us to develop our applications. It having these many classes. See this one, all these are predefined classes that we are importing in our class for our code implementations or product implementations. See, this is the class that's of type final, and what is the use of final we will discuss in the upcoming sessions. Let's see, just talk about the Java methods, predefined methods. Now this is a string, right? String class contains a also have variables and the static block, and say now methods will start from here. It's a constructor, parameterized constructor, and this is default constructor. And you see this range check, okay? See, all these methods are there. String, say so many methods are there. called is empty. See length to get the length of the string. Empty it to checks whether the given string is empty, and to find the index character at the index for the particular character, and code point before. See like this we have n number of methods are there in this class, predefined class which supports Java library. Let's see one thing, that string str dot. You could see all the methods related to that class will come here. As we seen in the previous video, uh, when we create a class, all the methods declared inside that class can be accessible with the help of that class object or class instance. The same way, when you say string str equals hello, this is the string object which hold the list of methods that are available in that string class. You could see this one, which method you want to that it you can just go and select that. So for example, now say this SIS will just print the string length str dot right length of this string. Then you can see you get you could see the length of this string. See, length of the string is 5. How come it count the number of characters in the string? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So its size is 5, length is 5. The same way you can also have other methods, right? Depend on your situation, depend on scenario. What method you want to consume that you call that method. If you want to check whether the provided given string is blank or empty, you could see you return the boolean values. But if you want to evaluate the boolean condition, right, for the given string, then you can go with the boolean methods. Similarly, right, then you want to replace the string and you want to strip the string and like substring nothing but what, if you want to take only part of the string, for example hello Java, if you want to get the substring, right, so I just need only hello, right, or only Java. So for that you can use substring of this class. For example, now let's say now I say string dot substring. Okay, you could see methods. It is two methods are there. So from where you have to start, this one say returns a string that is substring of the string. The substring begin with the character at the specified index. Means your substring starts from the specified index. For example, you are saying 0. 0 means from 0 to till everything it print, till last of the string it print just hello. Now this is as is. Now there is no difference of that. Now if you want to print or if you want to capture substring, means like Java, you should think that one. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Now 6, just to give for example 6 substrings. From 6, you could see this one, see Java is there, which means that from the index 6 onwards, you are expecting the substring, right? Understood? Which means whether if you provide the index, this is the index, right? In for string, it is storing is index based that, right? Each character is stored in some index. It's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, right? So it's from 6. From the index 6 onwards means 6 plus the rest of the string. So this is how it works. And another method, you see that substring, how it works, string dot substring. See, it takes two parameters. What is that? Say it return the substring, right? It's a begin index and end index. If you want to have only substring in between this number strings, for example, now hello Java, okay, welcome to the Java. Now you could see now if in this string we have group of words are there. No, you have this case if you want to get, if you want to capture this welcome keyword, then you have to find the index of this, right? And the begin and the end index. What is the begin index and index, right? You have to calculate and pass that. So begin index, if write 0 hello, it is from the 6, right? Now 6, after 6, 6 7 8 9 10 11 12, and end index I can say 12. Then you see this one, what it is printing. See, sorry, it is going as 30. Okay, you just count the length of that string and give the index. See, you can capture, you can get the substring of this string. So here, if you know that, say it's a 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13, up to 13. 6 to 13 means you are passing the index between 6 to 13. So 6 to 13, what is the string part of this string will be captured and provided to us. The same way, similarly, we have another methods also. You can split the given string into multiple. Let's see, you have one method as the split. This one, split. Means sometimes there is a scenario, right? Now, if you are getting the string length string and you want to split, means you want to part divide that string into multiple parts and want to store in a list, or you want to store in array for your further activities. So how you do that? Using string dot split, you can give the rejects, you can give the pattern how you want to truncate. Now in our case, we see now hello welcome to the Java. It is does not have any separators, only space is the separator. So how you do this one, right? Can do the string dot split. So it expects split this string around matches of the given regular expression. What is the regular expression? You see the parameter which it is expecting is a regular expression. Right now we don't have any regular expression, we don't have any separators, only space is there. So using space also you can split. Okay, we just give that double quotes, but say some space, because this string is found with the space separation, and you just print the string. Now run this, what you could see. Okay, say you could see the string array object. You, to see the splitted string values, let's store these string values in an array so that we can see it clearly. The string array s equals to this, store that splitted string there. Again, it is same as that object. We still get the object. What do we do? Just iterate this string and print one by one. Or we can just display any one value and see now. Okay, yes, oh, right, it is printing 1 2 3 4 5. So 0, I will print then array of 1. So what is the value it is stored in the array? We print that one. See, this is the hello, means 0 1 2 3 4. Now you could see that how these values are splitting and storing in the array. See, first the string will come here. Then once it's split that, we are storing into a string array. Could see it is splitted and storing in this string array. See, this is what 0 index, index of 1, index of 2, index of 3, index of 4. So like that, the values will be split and stored written as a array. Then you can get the value based on the index that is stored, where the value is stored, in which index the value is stored. You just specify that index or you give that index and return your value. So like that, you can have a number of methods. In some words, if we have a string which is comma separated, okay, welcome to the Java. Okay, now this case you have to change your expression, regular expression with comma separated, because you know that your string is formed with the comma separated. You cannot just give something like that to split. Otherwise, it will not be able to identify. You cannot get any error while splitting, but when you are consuming that data, right? Whenever, wherever you are accessing that index, then you could get the index out of born exceptions. That also we see now. Let's see this comma separated also. Now you could see the same thing. You get that. Now let's see. The spring is separated. Right? I will say Control Z, remove everything. Now, but still I'm saying comma separated. I'm trying to split that by assuming that the string is comma separated, and I'm splitting using this one regular expression and trying to get the index of one value. But what happens? He could not proceed. This index one is out of bound, length one. So this is we call as array index out of bound. Means array index out of bound is what we are trying to access the index from the array which is not there in this array. It is out of bound. Means out of bound in the sense you are giving the index which is out of array length. Array length means what? Here array does not store anything. Now you could see what it is storing here. You debug and see. It is say if say split, right? It is not actually splitting. So it just take that value as is like that. If it is not able to identify that regular expression that to split your string, then what it do? It cannot skip that. So it copy the entire string and storing is an array of index 0. So that is the one straight string. This array contains only one index 0, and we are trying to access index 1 which is not present, which means we are accessing the index which is out of range. That is the reason we are getting the exception index out of bound. Right now, you print this one, you could see this. Hello, welcome to Java. So this is how the string methods works will help us. Like this, no, but this all these things are predefined methods. Not only in the string class, even if we have other collections, right? When we come to the collections, we could see the number of methods. Let's see one basic example. Now say map, right? This is one of the collection, Java collection interfaces. This implements the class hash map. Hash map is the class. Now look at this one. If I open this, right, you could see only interface. See, this interface contains methods. All these are predefined methods. And this hash map is the class. You could see this is the class. See, this is the class which is implementing this hash map, and we contain all these methods. See, default constructor, parameter constructor, and you see other methods to get the size, empty, so on, so on. So let's see that how many methods are available here only. Map dot, see, control tab. You could see all the methods that are available in this map will be listed here. You can go ahead with these methods. So like that in Java, we have predefined methods also. This is how our predefined methods will help us. The same way, another thing is user-defined methods. Right now, we already completed, we discussed about standard library methods. Now, just discuss about user-defined method. User-defined methods are nothing but User is defining, user is creating those methods during according to our naming conventions, right? Depend on our application program and the class. Each class is doing certain job. In that class we have a number of methods. Again, each method is performing certain tasks. So according to the type of this class, what class we are going to create and what we are going to perform the method, the name should be proper, it should be understandable, it should follow some Java coding standards. Let's see this. User defined methods are nothing but user is creating those methods and providing the implementation to those methods for later access. However, again, it is categorized into two types. One is static methods and instance methods. Let's discuss one by one about what is static method and instance method. Okay. Now, see this Java methods, right? What actually method? If it is a block of code or collection of statements or a set of instructions or set a group of code that together to perform a certain task or operation or activity. Means just writing a method is not for the sake of just time pass, right? If you are writing a method, means it is performing some tasks. For example, you just take any arithmetic operations, right? When you are providing input of two values or three, a number of values, right? Arithmetic operations say that can be addition, subtraction, right? Whatever it may be. It means it is performing some task, some logic and returning the output. You just take a real-time example of loan calculation, right? So there is a method that return. If you provide input, what is the input? It accept the input is the ROI, means rate of interest. What is the rate of interest the bank is providing and the amount you are looking for? What is the loan amount you are looking for? So if you provide those two inputs, there is a logic that return, right? And how many EMIs you are expecting to pay. If you are expected to pay EMI within for right 12 EMIs or 24, 36, 48 or 60 EMIs, according to that it calls that particular method and calculate that what is the loan you have applied, loan amount and rate of interest. So then it calculates some amount, means with interest with principal amount you will get some amount. That amount is divided by the number of EMIs you are selected to repay your amount. So then it divided by that number of EMIs, the final output will be returned as monthly EMI, right? See, this is how, right? A method is nothing but it's a block of statements, there's collection of statements to perform certain operation, right? To do some activity, to do some operation. So they meaningful operation, right? So this is how every method contains same number, means like a collection of statements. Each method will do a certain task, right? One method, it calculates loan EMI. What is the max EMI per month, you can say, right? And another method will be there. Suppose if we are failed to pay the EMI on time, what they will say, they will charge the interest for that current EMI and will be calculated in the upcoming EMI or however it may be there, depending on the bank agreement, right? So there is one more method which takes the previous EMI and the interest rate that is charged for that EMI along with the current month EMI. They will consolidate the amount and will generate the report. So that method is doing another task like that. Every method should perform a separate and task, means it performs a certain task. So that is the use of method. What actually it is called, which means when this method is called, right? If just writing a code inside a method will not help us. Someone has to call, right? Who is called that block of code? Who will call it when this execute, right? To execute this one, someone has to call, right? Whenever this method is called, then only our logic will call, right? Now you can see this one, this syntax, this one. This is the standard method syntax. So every method have a access specifier, which means to say that whether my method can be accessible publicly means anyone can access my method. This access specifier can be anything. It can be a public, protected, private, final also. That we'll discuss in detail about the access specifiers. Let's talk about this. So the first parameter, first part is first the keyword is the public. If I say public, anyone can consume, anyone can access your method within outside of the class, outside of the packages. And int is the return type, right? It cannot be only int, it can be a string also, it can be a list, it can be a map, it can be your custom user object, custom class, anything. Means a method may or may not have return type. If you are expecting to return, right, then you can specify the return type. It is not mandatory always to give the return type is either one of the data type, either primitive or non-primitive. Sometimes it may be void. Void means if your method does not return anything, then you can simply say void. Let's take a real-time example of ATM. When you say ATM withdrawal, right? Once you are done with travel, at the end of your transaction, you could allot the message saying, do you want to display the balance in your account? If you say yes, then it returns and display that amount on the screen. If you say no, then it is not going to display anything. It just it terminate your task there and close that one. Means it is not going to return anything further. Same way, right? If you are not expecting anything, this if your method is not expecting to return anything, then you can put void. If you are expecting something as a part of method execution, means output, right? If the output is a string, and let's take a arithmetic operation, sum of two numbers, right? Then it is returning a integer, or average of all employees calculation, that cannot be integer, that can be a double, right? So like that, depend on the calculation, depend on the code execution, what type of data it is returning, that you have to specify here. You cannot mention anything just like that, right? Should be a meaningful. Okay. So we should always think about what return type we are expecting, so that you have to I'm sorry. If you are returning something and if you mention return type is mismatch, then you could get the compile time error. As you are trying to return string and your data type is integer, it is not possible. Let's see that in hands-on run. Okay. Now the method name. What is the name of the method? When you are performing a task, right, you should have to mention that, say, to understand that this method is performing this logic. Means there is a relevant logic, relevant code should be there. If you're saying sum of numbers, then you cannot do a sub difference of numbers or multiplication, right? It is a confusion to the end user to understand. Make sure the method name should be proper and meaningful. You cannot give something XYZ PQR like that, right? What actually this method is doing, what kind of operation it is doing, and what it is going to do, that you have to give the proper method name. Then it is easy to identify the end user. Let's say that the parameter list. See, this is also an optional again. So if you are passing any input values, then you can pass this parameter. If your method is not expecting anything, means just calling the method, it do something and return by default the data. then that case you don't want to pass this, right? This is again depending on your use case. You have to pass this parameter. So it can be one parameter, two parameter, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 also. But I cannot say unlimited. We can still pass unlimited, but there is this performance issue will come down. So there is a maximum of 6 or 7 parameters you can pass. You cannot pass too many parameters in that method. That's also problem, right? Which means you have to follow some Java standards, Java coding standards when we are writing a code. That is the reason. Try to eliminate as much as parameters here. You can pass your create one poser, set all the parameters in that poser and consume that poser for further accessible. Right? If we have a number of parameters, instead of passing separate parameters A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, create one poser, right? And dump all these variables in that poser, pass this poser as a single parameters. That's why we have a number of solutions, right? We can. So next, why we need methods, right? Once we write a method, there is nothing to worry about that. Once you write a method, right? Once you define a code in this method, it is not like ice cream, right? When you're eating ice cream, that it goes out, right? Like not like that, right? If you can call n number of times, use it as many times you want, no matter how many times you call this method, right? This method will remain same. Anytime you can go and change your method, okay? It can be must be declared within the class, and it should follow some syntax also. It should be within the class, not outside the class. It is defined with the name of the method followed by parentheses, return type, and method name. Okay, let's see in the next session. Okay, we'll do this hands-on. Okay, our time is going up.